So it's really cool, this concept. I always loved Star Trek, even when I was a little kid. When I was a little kid, one of my favorite shows was Star Trek, The Next Generation. I love Picard, Riker, Worf, and I love the concept of the stars, exploration, and something in that just always resonated with me. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 truths about Star Trek that no one talks about. 3 truths that are actually real that will blow your mind. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris, and I help people find their center. In this video, I'm going to show you how bald I am, just like Captain Picard of The Next Generation, Star Trek The Next Generation. Nah, just kidding. I'm here to tell you about 3 truths about Star Trek that no one tells you that'll blow your mind. So for those of you that aren't familiar, Star Trek is one of the most popular shows out there, and I find that a lot of starseeds tend to gravitate towards shows like that. Star Trek and Babylon 5 and Deep Space Nine and the different Star Treks and even Star Wars. Why? Because you feel some sort of connection to the stars, because at some level you know that you're multidimensional, that you exist just beyond this 3D physical body, just beyond this matrix. And I always loved Star Trek as a child, and I always loved the idea of exploring, of getting off Earth and, you know, being on a starship and being part of a crew and like exploring for scientific exploration and the growth and the benefit of humanity. The cool thing about Star Trek is a lot of the concepts on the show The Next Generation and even Voyager, which a lot of people don't like, but I liked, and the original Star Trek is this, that they're based on real concepts. They're based on truth at some level. And the first truth about Star Trek that no one talks about is that ETs and aliens and UFOs and all that stuff is real. One of the first pioneers to talk about this stuff is Dolores Cannon. She started talking about this stuff in the 60s when there was nothing out about New Age and, you know, all this kind of information. And even now, like, some of this stuff is kind of taboo and known as woo-woo, but it's becoming more and more mainstream, especially like on Instagram, and in our world, we're becoming more and more aware that we're going through something. So ETs are real. What do I mean by that? They are just like you and me. Heck, even starseeds are made up of, you know, ET and alien DNA. Mushrooms and every aspect of this planet has been seeded by an alien race. The Earth was created by ETs, and ETs are benevolent beings. They have been our caretakers and our teachers and our guides, kind of like parents and parent-child relationship, teacher-student, that kind of thing. And Dolores Cannon, again, talks a lot about this, and they were kind of, the relationship that's best illustrated in this is, go check out Star Trek Voyager and the first episode with the caretaker and the Ocampa. Us, humans are like the Ocampa, and the ETs that created us, created this planet and this experiment and stuff like that, are like the caretaker. They watch out for us, like, you know, we're children to them, and they're like, oh, what are these kids gonna get into next? And they can't help, they can't like physically intervene, which is the second thing. The prime directive of Star Trek is real. The prime directive says that outside races, more advanced races cannot interfere in a developing civilization, in a developing like consciousness. And humanity, as we know, has had to, you know, start over a couple of times, and well, we're going through a shift in consciousness. And part of why ETs we're seeing a spike, and why we saw a spike in UFO activity in the 40s and 50s, is because of the atomic bomb going off, and Earth put out a call, which is a lot of what Dolores Cannon's work is about. Dolores Cannon is a hypnotherapist, and she calls herself a reporter. She developed a technique called quantum healing hypnosis therapy, quantum healing hypnosis technique, where she goes through not just past life, but like she quantum jumps with people to different time periods, and they all said the same thing. They heard a call that Earth put out when the atomic bomb was going to go off, which was going to destroy the planet, and each time that happens, the civilization has to start over. So Earth didn't want that to happen, so that's why we're splitting off into 3D and 5D Earth. But because of the Prime Directive, the ET races could not send people in to beam and land on the front lawn because that would violate free will. So Earth put out a call and used her free will because she's a sentient being. Before I get too off that, there was a call put out. We heard it. She said, help. Anybody who wants to come here, you must use your own free will to enter the planet, be born into it. But the condition and the catch is you're going to forget that you're multidimensional. You're going to forget that you come from these other places, that you're even on this mission. And we came in with our memories wiped, have no knowledge, prior knowledge of our past lives, some of us, or our gifts. And that's how they figured out how we can help Earth, how the Council of Light, or whatever you want to call them, helped figure out how to send people in to help, but without violating that Prime Directive. So number one, I know I went on a tangent there. Number one is that ETs are real. The ones on this planet are benevolent beings that are here to help us. Number two is that the Prime Directive is real, meaning that they cannot interfere from the outside. We cannot just, they can't land on the front lawn like a savior thing. There is no savior. We're it. We have to each wake up and influence it from the inside out. That's how we make great changes. I can try to change, my hat all I want. I can change this all I want. Hat, no hat, whatever. And that doesn't create any lasting, spiritual change. That doesn't create any growth by doing that. It comes from doing inner work. It comes from finding your center, and by you letting go of limiting beliefs and you remembering who you are, which is an immortal spiritual being having a physical experience, a spiritual being having a spiritual experience here in the physical. So those are the first two things about Star Trek that no one talks about. And the third thing that no one talks about is that you came here for exploration, you came here for discovery and learning, and that's why you came into physical form. So Dolores Cannon, I was listening to one of her lectures. She was talking about how there's she went to this place and where there's the Akashic records. So if you've ever seen Wan Shi-Tong's library from Avatar, The Last Airbender, there's a library or the Akashic records where everything that has ever existed or ever will exist is basically a big computer bank, which we each have access to. And that's the unconscious. So each of us has access to this. We can each tune in and plug in and download some information. Now, think of it this way. It's all book knowledge. How hard is it to learn something by reading a book? How well did each of you learn how to drive or do your job by reading the employee manual? Book learning puts me to sleep. Book learning by itself teaches you nothing. It's just knowledge. What you want is wisdom. Experience is the greatest teacher. When you actually read the book and when you actually do the practice physically, tangibly, combined with the book knowledge, that creates the greatest change for growth. And that's the way that we learn the fastest, is by physically experiencing something, physically experiencing the emotions, physically being in a body and digging and, crying, laughing, heartbreak, by doing your passion for a living, by, playing around with your starseed center, by, questioning reality, by, shaving your head to look like Captain Picard, and remembering that you're here with great gifts and you came here to create. So you may notice things in your reality. We get lessons every single day of what to do, how, putting us more in alignment, things that put us more in alignment, and things that take us off our path and put us out of alignment. So when something feels good, star seeds, go towards that. Feels good in terms of your heart center feeling good. Thanks for the interference. Anyway, something feeling good with your heart center, that's alignment, that's you tuning into your starseed self, that's you manifesting into New Earth. When something feels off or you see somebody behaving in a negative way, that's source showing you how not to be, to pull you off your path. So again, what does this amount to? What are these truths? Is by at least getting you to wake up and to question reality, by getting you to question, the Matrix. The Matrix wants you to stay asleep, because if you stay asleep, you're easy to control, you're easy to manipulate. You don't realize how powerful you are by staying asleep. So if you want to chill in old Earth and stay asleep and be in the Matrix, have fun with that. Or if you want to be like, hey, what's really going on here? And you start to go within and you tune into yourself. And even what I'm saying on this video, always go within find your center, listen to what you're saying. You're your greatest teacher. I'm just here as a guide. You're a hero, Starseed, light worker. And if you want something to help you along your journey, Starseed, to help you awaken to more of who you truly are, check out the guided meditation I put down below, Ho'oponopono. It'll help you wake up and remember who you truly are, that you're a being of light, love, and you came here for great shifts. Listen to that for 21 days. I guarantee you it'll shift your life. It definitely has helped me raise my vibration and helped me remember more of who I truly am. So let's go over those again. Number 1, ETs, UFOs, starseeds, all that stuff is real. Number 2, the prime directive is real, which is non-interference by higher level beings. Like, they can't land here on the front lawn and tell us what to do or show us all that stuff because of free will. Earth has free will. And the third thing is you came here to explore, expand, discover by physically, tangibly experiencing things, by hands-on learning. That's the greatest teacher. Hope everyone has a wonderful day, Starseeds. Thank you for being here. I'm grateful for you. Comment down below. Where are you on your Starseed journey? Are you going through any ascension symptoms? Are you going through Starseed awakening symptoms? Depression, dark night of the soul, joy, feeling really joyful one moment, feeling really angry or frustrated the next? Let me know where you're at on your journey, Starseeds. I love to hear from you. Thank you for being here. You're much needed. Find your center within, your heart center. We're all connected that way. Peace and unity.